Previously on Clean Cut Food.
Hello everybody, and in today's video we're going to be making one of the most classic Italian dishes of all time, pizza. I think that's practically what Italians are known for, but in this, there is so many different kinds of pizza you can make, but we're just making classic pan pizza. So let's get in to the video.
So you might see right here, we got 1/2 teaspoon of dry yeast, a tablespoon of salt, and 4 cups of flour. Now in our dry bowl, we're gonna hit it with some flour, some salt, the yeast, now some garlic powder, and finally some pepper. Now we're gonna stir. Okay, so we're mixing our flour right now, and you're seeing that it's very dry, which is why we're gonna add some water in a minute. I'm gonna add in 1 3/4 cup of water to the flour and the rest of the ingredients. Now we're gonna mix it all together. Now, we're gonna oil this bowl. Now, for this sort of dough, this is a 62-hour process. So, and I've got a better video if you wanna make it in an hour process, and it will pop up on the screen right here. Now you know the dough is ready to be kneaded because it's pulling off the side of the bowl. Now we got our flour on the board, and we're gonna start kneading it. Now we're gonna knead it. This is gonna take a while. Now that we've kneaded it for 5 minutes, we're gonna throw it into this bowl.
So Annie, are you walking? Are you walking, Annie? Annie, are you walking? Are you doing this? Are you walking?
We're gonna cover this bowl with a cloth and let it rest for 24 hours. Now after the 24 hours, was it sitting at room stop? After 24 hours that it sat at room temperature, you're gonna take it out and knead it. After that, you're gonna make some small dough balls about the size of a golf ball. Then you're gonna put the balls into a little container with plastic wrap on top. Then the container goes into the refrigerator from 24 to 48 hours. In the video, once the pizza is done baking, we're gonna cut it up into a bunch of different slices and do different toppings. One is gonna be plain cheese, pepperoni, caramelized onions and olives, broccoli, and red bell pepper. But one of them is kind of gonna be a little bit crazy. I'm just gonna find the most crazy things I can in my kitchen, and we're gonna do that. Now, we just have to wait 24 hours. Okay, this is 72 hours later, and you can see our dough has risen a lot. And also, for the rest of this video, we're gonna have a special guest. So now, we're gonna start caramelizing my onions, or our onions, like I said in the intro of the video. First, we're gonna cut up our onions into little squares like we did in the chicken Alfredo video. Okay, now that we got and cut up our onions, we're just gonna put it into the hot olive oil. Stop. Okay, now we got our bacon here, and we're just gonna season it with a little bit of salt because bacon is already salted, but what we're really gonna season it with is a lot of the pepper. A lot of pepper, and I'll see you after I get back seasoning. So yeah. Now the kind of bacon we're making is we're actually doing lemon juice bacon, which is really awesome. which is why we're just gonna squirt a little bit of lemon juice on this bacon, and we'll add a bunch of like acidic flavors among the fats, which is really gonna add some flavor to it. By the way, if you're wondering where Axel went, he's filming right now. Yeah.
Are you gonna shoot putting the bacon in?
Can you pause it? Just put the bacon in. Yippee!
He's crazy.
So I might see here we got our caramelized onions and our bacon, and it is looking really good. It ain't it? Ain't it for sure? Now we're gonna make our pizza sauce. Okay, the first step to making tomato sauce and pizza sauce, they're basically the same thing, is you put on your large tomatoes. You should have 3 large tomatoes if you're making enough for one pizza.
Okay, so you're making the big ones, and then you're gonna put in the small ones.
They don't fit really.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
it will be fine. Next, we're gonna put in 7 of these small potatoes on. Also, if you want to, you could double or whatever else there is to it to make it for more pizzas or less pizzas. And now we're gonna just pulse these. Now we're gonna add in a teaspoon of salt. You're also gonna add in 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. You're also gonna add in a teaspoon of oregano. We're also gonna add in a teaspoon of fennel seed. We're also gonna add in a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. We're also gonna put in a teaspoon of garlic powder. And now we're gonna pulse this all together. Now we're gonna put in a teaspoon of sugar. Okay, now we're just gonna pulse it. We're gonna put in our basil. Now we're gonna pulse it. Now we're gonna cut up our garlic and our shallots so we can put it in the pan that we're gonna fry our tomato sauce. Now we're gonna pour our tomato sauce into the cooking garlic and onions. Now we're gonna cut up our pepper for our topping. Now for the cheeses we got, we're gonna grate some Parmesan to put on the pizza, some orange cheddar to put on the pizza, and obviously the most Italian thing of them all, mozzarella. Bro, you have to see this.
You didn't see inside the bowl.
He is the pro at this stuff. Look at that, man. I mean, that's just amazing.
The world may have power, but God has given me a power even stronger than the world's.
got a block of pepperoni that we're just gonna kind of cut up. Cut up some olives for the pizza too. We have our nice dough here. And as you see, it looks very different than when we put it in. And now we're gonna have to knead it before we can put it in our pan. Okay, now we have to oil our pizza pan. And we're just gonna use our oiling brush to just oil it as much as we can. Now we're gonna put the dough onto the pan. So, let's try this. Okay, we're gonna put it on this and then, whoa. Since we just oiled our pan, it's gonna stick. So let's do this. Now we're gonna preheat our oven to 450. There we go. Now that we've gotten the dough on the pan, we've gotten our sauce. We let it cook for 45 minutes to thicken it. And now we're just going to take our spoon and just put it a little bit in. And we're just going to spread that around. We don't want too much sauce because I've never heard someone really say, I want a wet pizza. So, now it's time for the best step of all, the cheese. So first, we're just gonna add some of our American cheese on, our American cheddar cheese. And after we cover this with a bit of that cheese, I'll see you for the next cheese to put on. So you can see the American cheese kind of clumped up, but next we got some mozzarella, which is not gonna be a problem in that department. So now we're gonna put some mozzarella on. And finally, we're doing Parmesan. Now, the reason we did Parmesan last is because it browns very nicely. And Parmesan is possibly my favorite cheese of all time. So now, we're just gonna put it on. Now we're just putting on some basil leaves, just for a little bit of presentation purposes, so it looks a bit better, I guess. And now, this looks like a true Italian pizza. Okay, now like he said at the beginning of the video, we're gonna do a different sort of slice and a different sort of toppings for each slice. Now, for one is cheese, so we're just gonna leave it the exact same way that it is. But the first one we're gonna do is we're gonna use our caramelized onions and our olives. So you see here we got our caramelized onion slice. Next, we're gonna create a pepperoni slice right here, and this one is just gonna be cheese. Okay, the next slice is gonna be broccoli and bell peppers, and it's gonna go like this. This one next is gonna be our very burnt bacon. So let's do this. And now for this final slice, it's gonna be the crazy slice. And we're gonna put all of the crazy things on after we put it into the oven. Now we're gonna put it in the oven for, actually stop. Now we're gonna put the pizza in the oven for about 15 minutes. Now that the pizza is out of the oven, we gotta cook it. Cut it. Do that one again. Now that the pizza is out of the oven, we're gonna cut it. And now that it's done cooking, we're gonna cut it. And we're gonna cut it into every slice of things that we have. You can stop. Now we're gonna taste test the cheese pizza. 3, 2, 1.
That's good.
That's actually really good.
Yeah.
Now, Axel doesn't really like pepperoni, so I'm gonna be the one trying the pepperoni slice.
This pizza is really thick, like bread. It's really thick, but it's really good.
72-hour dough. Success. Now I'm gonna try the vegetable one again. Or first time actually. That's pretty good actually.
It's real good.
Now this is the olive and caramelized onion. That is really good. Like, really good.
You've never used a napkin in your videos.
What?
Like, whenever you taste food, you've never used a napkin, only in this one. I find that funny.
Yeah. It's time for the crazy slice. What? What's on the script next? Yeah. There's gotta be another bit of the script next, right? Hey! Those are my personal family photos, and you have no right to.
Bro thinks he's in a cartoon emoji, loudly crying face.
Oh, here's the. I'm honestly so scared to try this, man.
But the cantaloupe fell off. It's just normal cheese until you get to the other stuff. Actually, we put sugar on it, so. You gotta take a big bite. You have to take a bite. You have to take a bite.
It's terrible.
You must. You said you would.
Can't promise it though. I can't. It's too bad. It's too bad. It's
We had like a 4
too bad. That's what I want the video to end on.